Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kiersten. I do post weekly on all things beauty. So if you want to see what I have to post, be sure and subscribe and give this video a huge thumbs up. Today, I thought that I would do a little makeup challenge for you. What I'm going to be doing is a foundation dupe test. I have 8 wonderful foundations here in front of me. I have 4 high-end and 4 low-end. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be applying a low-end to half of my face and the high-end to the other half of my face. For all foundations, I will be using a sponge, and I do have 8 different sponges here to apply them with, so there is not going to be any cross foundation, cross using product, cross contamination, none of that. So everything is going to be as legit as possible. So, and I'm going to try to keep it as fair as possible. So in a total, we have 4 tests to conduct. Now, what I have decided to do beyond the 4 tests to see which one is, to tell you to save your money or to splurge and get the high end, the one set that is the most similar in application, in formula, the way it sits on the skin, just everything that just seems the same, I'm going to take that set and those 2 foundations, and for the rest of today, I'm going to wear them. So I will be doing this test. Then at the end, I will tell you which one I thought was the most similar, and that is the one that I'm going to be doing a wear test with for the rest of the day. Now it is 11:42, so by the time I get done with this, it'll be after 12. So from 12 until probably around 8 or 9 tonight when I wash my face, that is how long this test will go on. So I'm going to be cleaning house, I'm going to be doing all kinds of stuff, doing laundry, and we're even going to go out to dinner tonight, and I'm going to wear these foundations both on my face to see which one wins. So let's get started. Now to start off, I've already prepped my face. I just got out of the shower and I moisturized. I did my normal routine, and then I just put on some of my Pixie spray, and this is how I'm going to prime my face for each test that we conduct. So, and to take off the makeup, I am just using my Neutrogena wipes, just going to wipe it off real quick, re-prep my face. I don't have any other makeup on whatsoever, and in this video, I'm not going to be matching it with any concealer over top, any setting powders, none of that. We are strictly judging by the way that the foundation itself goes on. Now, let's jump in. My first set that I am going to be comparing is the high-end Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Mine is in the shade Vanilla. Mine is a little yellow for me, and I'm not judging this test on color because some of my colors are completely off. So, yeah, I may look funny for the rest of the day, but oh well, we'll just work with it. We'll go with it. So I'm comparing the Too Faced Born This Way with the Milani Conceal and Perfect. This one is in the shade 00A Porcelain. Now, high-end side of my face is going to be this side over here. Drugstore side is going to be this side over here, and I'm going to keep it that way throughout the whole video. Okay, now as you can see, I do have 2 sponges here. That way I am not mixing sponges for any foundation. Everything is going to have its own sponge to apply with. Okay, and I'm just going to take a pump of the Too Faced, and I'm just going to kind of start working it into my skin. Okay, that one is buffed in and totally set on the face, and it looks really good. It does. It looks really good. Now, I have not used my Milani in a couple of weeks, so I can't really remember if it sits on the skin this nice, but I really do like the way that this one, just the overall appearance of it. So, okay. That one's buffed in. Now I'm going to go in with the Milani, and we're going to work it in on this side over here. And we are going to see if it sits just as nice. Okay. Just taking 1 pump of that. And I can already tell you these colors are going to be so off. Okay. What I can already tell you is that the Milani seems to have a little bit more of a thick, whipped formula. It is not as nice and creamy as the other one was. I can already tell that from it. It seems like the Too Faced had a little bit more blendability than this one. This one seems like whatever I'm putting down, I feel like I'm picking back up and moving to another spot. I don't really think that it's fully soaking into the skin as well as I like, and as well as the Too Faced one did. And I did about the same amount of the Milani as I did the Too Faced. So with this stuff, a little bit goes a long, long way. Okay, another thing from Milani, it seems like the more and more that I try to buff this out, especially right here in the cheek area, it seems like it does not want to blend. I feel like it is clinging to my dry patches and it is not wanting to work out. And my skin texture is the exact same on both sides. So if I have a dry patch on this side, I have the same dry patch over here. My skin mimics everything. And the way the Too Faced worked in over here is just seamless. It's flawless. And this over here, you can tell that I have a lot of texture going on. Okay, everywhere else except for that one spot looks pretty nice on the Milani side. The only thing that I know that I would have problem with is when I go to contour right through here, I can almost promise you that my bronzer will cling to that and it will almost separate it or just really enhance that I have a lot of texture right there on my cheek. So, but everywhere else, even my forehead up here gets really, really dry and it did not cling to that like it did the cheek area. So for this one, I'm going to have to say Too Faced has won. Too Faced has overall just blew me away with the application, the formula, the creaminess, the way it sits on the skin, the blendability, just the overall appearance of it. Milani was not bad. It is definitely a foundation that I will continue to wear, but when it comes to the dupe between the two of them, I would say splurge, get the Too Faced, and I think that you will be more pleased with the results. That's just my opinion. For my dry skin, the way it sat on my skin was beautifully flawless compared to this one. But like I said, it's not bad. It's just certain areas it really, really clung to dry spots. And us dry skin people, we can't have that. We just can't. So, Too Faced won on that one. So that means high end, 1, drugstore, 0. Okay, now that we've done that one, I'm just going to take this makeup off real quick, pop back in with the Pixie Primer, and then we're going to start with our next dupe. Okay, for my next dupe that I'm going to be doing, for the high-end side, we are going to be using the MAC Studio Fix Fluid. Mine is in the shade NW10, and I'm going to be duping it with the Maybelline Fit Me. This one is the Dewy and Smooth, and mine is in the shade 120 Classic Ivory. Now, once again, I have 2 sponges here, and we're going to start with the MAC side and then do the drugstore side. Neither of these have pumps for me, so it's so hard to get out just the right amount. I feel like I'm always wasting product. And I'm just going to spot this all over. Okay, and then just kind of buff it in. Okay, that one is buffed in, and you can still see some redness in the cheek, a little bit on the forehead up here. Mostly right through here is where I still see a lot of my redness. So this foundation is definitely a light to medium coverage. I definitely see it as being buildable. If I put a little bit more and did a second layer of it, I think it would cover just like I want it to. But just for today's video, I'm going to do the same amount on the other side and then just kind of work it in and see if it gives me the same coverage, if it gives me the same blendability. Because I'm not really worried about being full coverage today. Just kind of how the foundation sits on my face and how it applies. So for this one, It spread out nicely. It did not cling to any dry patches that I had, and it smoothed out. And unlike the Milani where I kind of picked it up and it would move with the sponge rather than soak into the skin, this one did not do that. This one sat nicely, it moved nicely on the skin, and overall, just the way that the foundation worked, I really did like it. That one is very nice. For me personally, if I was to wear it out, I would do a second layer of it just because that is a little less coverage than I typically go for. So, putting that sponge aside and then going in with my other sponge. Both of those sponges were black, by the way. I'm going to take some of this Maybelline, try to pour out about the same amount. For each of these, I'm doing the same amount of product. I'm trying not to put too much on one side or vice versa. I am trying to keep it as fair and as even as possible. So I'm just going to pour out a little bit of this. Okay. On this one, these foundations are so similar in the coverage. This one seems to have just a little tiny bit more coverage. This one to me is more on the medium side of coverage. This one is more on the light to medium side. Now with this one, I feel like if I would have done the matte and poreless, I think is the other one, rather than the dewy and smooth on the Maybelline Fit Me, I think that these two would have been spot on identical because this one dries down a little bit more matte. This one is obviously a little bit more dewy and radiant on the skin. As far as how they blend out, how they sit on the skin, the formula of both of them, I'm going to call this one, I'm going to call it a match. But like I said, if I would have done the matte and poreless or just the more matte side of it rather than the dewy side of the foundation, I think that I would have spot on, my face would have looked identical. So for this one, what I'm going to go ahead and say, save your money and definitely get the Maybelline. I think that it was definitely a little bit more worth it than to splurge for the MAC. I mean, if you're dead set on MAC, then go ahead and get it. But if you're on a budget and you don't want to spend that kind of money, get the Maybelline because these are so similar. I'm not going to call these an exact dupe just because, like I said, if I would have done the more matte side with the Maybelline, I think that it would be spot on absolute dupe, but this one is a little bit more radiant, so I can't really call it that way and say that. But yes, if you definitely get the matte one and you're used to buying the MAC, just stick with the Maybelline because it is going to save you so much money, and they're the same. They are identical. So for that one, that means drugstore one, high-end one. So we are at a tie right now. We have 2 more sets to kind of go with, and then we will kind of make our call from there. But I am going to wipe this off real quick, prime my face like I do, and then we're going to jump back in with our next set. Okay, now that that's gone and we've already primed our face, we're ready to jump in with our third dupe test. And for my third dupe test, some of my absolute favorite hands down foundations, some of the best that I have ever used. And I have seen so many people talk about these 2 dupes right here, and it seems like they go more towards the drugstore side of it. So we're gonna see what I have to say about it because I do love both of these truly, and there is such a huge price difference between the 2 of them. And it is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. Mine is in the shade 3.75. And then, of course, pairing it with the L'Oreal True Match Illumi, mine is in the shade W12 Porcelain. So these are the 2 that we are comparing now. I do have another set of sponges over here. These are kind of funky looking, but they do the job. So we're going to go right in and start with the high-end side, my Giorgio Armani. Like I have been, just doing 1 single pump and then just kind of spreading it on the face and then just kind of working it in. Oh my gosh. just that one pump just blended so seamlessly. And my favorite way to apply foundation is with a sponge. I think that it just sits on your face so nice. It doesn't cake up, and it takes away what it needs to take away without you losing so much product. It just absorbs to that skin beautifully, and it doesn't give those nasty, horrific streak lines and buff lines, and it just looks so much better. And to be honest, I don't know why this wasn't invented sooner, because I remember when I first started wearing makeup, I had this little, I think it was like an Avon, no, I think it was like a Bare Minerals brush, and that was like, I used that thing. I probably still have it somewhere in my makeup collection, but I used that thing for years, and I don't think I washed it a single time. And looking back at that, I'm like, what was I thinking? But there was just a little side note about sponges and why I love them. Okay, so blending this out, you can still see a little bit underneath, but same as anything else, another layer of that would definitely take care of it. And the way it blends out so nicely on the skin, and it just has this overall just radiance about it that just looks beautiful. And to be honest, I didn't think that, I've never actually used this sponge. I think I might have used it once for something, but I didn't think that I would like it too much, but it is actually perfect. Like, you have the perfect grip to hold on to, and then just to buff it out. I like this guy, and you could do it either way, and you have that perfect handle. And I think I got this at Burke's Outlet. There was like a big set of like 10 sponges that came in it, and I was like, it was like less than $10, so I was like, well, if it works, it works. If it don't, it was only $10. And these sponges actually puff up nicely, and they get super, super soft. A lot that I've tried just stay hard, and they're just like pounds in your face with a rock. But these are actually nice. So if you're in the market for a good sponge, check out TJ Maxx or check out Burke's, because you can find some really good deals for super cheap. Back to the purpose of the video. Now, going in with side 2, now that I have that buffed out, and it really does look beautiful. Like, I have some pores that are kind of enlarged right here. That foundation really covers it, and it does a beautiful job too. And it doesn't look like I have foundation on. It seriously just sits on my skin like a second layer of just flawlessness. Like, it looks so good. And what I like about this one is I can still see some pink through, but it gives me that overall natural look. But same as anything else, double it up, do another layer, and you'll be fine if you don't like to see that underneath kind of skin tone poking through. But for me, like, if I was doing just a simple, easy makeup day, I would stick with that bare amount of foundation that I put on, and I would be okay with that. But yeah, the way that it blended on my face, the creaminess of it, it's not a thick foundation, it's not heavy on my face. It is really nice. I really like the way that that one goes on. So next, I'm using this sponge right here, and we're going in with our L'Oreal, doing the same amount roughly there, and just going to kind of work that out on the skin. This one is blending out identical. Okay. This one is a tie. This one is hands down a tie. I cannot, and I am not just saying this, I cannot tell a single difference. Like, if you were able to just split my face in half and just swap it up so much and then just show me a skin sample, I could not tell you which side is which. I seriously could not. It looks like I took the same foundation and put it all over my face. I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. So obviously with this one, you could go for the less expensive one and get the same results as the more expensive one. So for this one, technically L'Oreal won, because I'm getting the same exact results for a fraction of the price. The Giorgio Armani is $64. This one is, I do not remember the exact price of this foundation, but I will leave it in the description box down below as to how much everything was here, so you can kind of get an idea of the price ranges on some of these products, what you want to spend and what you don't want to spend. So yes, for this one, the L'Oreal did win, because I'm getting the same exact result as I am with the Giorgio Armani. Hands down, identical. So yes, this one is absolutely in the running to do the wear test, the all-day wear test. So far, it looks like I'm going to be wearing Giorgio and Lumi all day, but we do have one more set to try, and we will kind of see the equivalence of that one, and that is what's going to determine which foundation that I'm going to wear all day and kind of see which one holds up against the other. Okay, now that we are cleaned and we are primed, we are ready to go in with our fourth and final dupe set for foundation. Now, for this one, the price difference again is so dramatic. L'Oreal Pro Glow. This one's like no more than $12. Usually, I think $12 is the most that I've ever paid for it. You can find it at your drugstores on sale all the time. I usually get it at Kroger because I usually have coupons for it, to be honest. And we are going to dupe it with the Dior Skin Forever. Oh, by the way, in the L'Oreal, mine is in the shade 203 Nude Beige. A little dark for me. I typically wear this one in the summer because it is so hydrating. This one in the Dior, I did get a little darker as well for another summer shade. Plus, I bought it online and I couldn't really tell my color. So, I did go a little too dark, but we're going to make it work. This one is in the shade 021. And you can kind of tell between the both of them, they are too dark for me. They are way too dark for me. But, like I said, we're going to make it work. Now, going in with 2 fresh sponges. I am going to start off with the high-end side over here like usual. And just going to do a pump on there. Going to do about that much right there. Then just kind of work this on the skin. And then start, yeah, you can already tell this is so dark. But like I said, if this is the one that I end up having to wear today, we will buff it down to my chest if we have to. We will make it work. Now this one looks beautiful on the skin. This is another one that looks like just a second layer. It's not cakey feeling, it's not thick, it's not heavy, and it just sits on the face so perfectly. And like I was telling you that I have some enlarged pores a little bit, especially right in this area, and some on the nose, and a couple on the forehead. It just sits in there perfectly and just evens out my skin amazing. Now, it doesn't feel tacky on the skin. It feels nice. Like, it feels like I just have a very nice, lightweight moisturizer on. And even when I just kind of poked it, it didn't, like, settle in and, like, seep all the way down to my skin. It sits nicely. It's very thin. It's not too much. Same as any of the other ones that I've tried today. A second layer, you could really get that super full coverage if that's what you're looking for. But with just that, I would say medium to full coverage is what this foundation was with that tiny little pump that we done. And yeah, it looks really nice. Doesn't cling to dry patches. And it works nice for my dry skin. Looks beautiful. And I'm excited to see how the L'Oreal hold up to this, because this one is one of my absolute hands down favorite foundations that I have ever purchased. It was like $52, I think. It was expensive, but I'm in love. I just love it. So, anyway, to shut me up from rambling on, let's go on in with the L'Oreal and do same amount there. And we are just going to work it out on the skin. Okay, so far these colors seem pretty similar while wearing them, even though that wasn't part of the test. Not at all. Just in case I have to wear it all day, that is a good thing, that these colors are not too far off. Those are identical. My gosh. Yes, that dupe is awesome. That is so good. So yes, save your money on the $52 foundation. and get the L'Oreal. This one to me is such a dupe. And I don't know if I've seen anybody dupe these two yet. But yes, if you have not, do it. If you're wanting to get this, go ahead and get this because they're both very luminous on the skin. They're very hydrating. And yeah, even if you have both of these foundations, try it out for yourself and see what you think. But for me, I am thinking this right here is my absolute winner for the dupe test. Now, obviously, same as the L'Oreal and the Giorgio Armani. Save your money. Get the smaller one. Drugstore, hands down. Drugstore won this one. Drugstore did. And yeah, but at the same time, they look identical on the skin. And to be honest, this is the one that I want to do my wear test with today because I am kind of just blown away at this as to how much they resemble each other. So yes, in today's rest of the wear test video, I am going to be duping these two. This is what I'm going to wear for the rest of the day. And I do actually want to do a video on the L'Oreal and the Giorgio Armani for the Lumi and the Luminous Silk. I will do another video on those with a wear test all day. I might actually film that tomorrow before I go to work and just kind of see how those two pair up throughout the wear test. But yeah, for today's video, these are the two that I am going to be comparing. So yeah, that is it. These were the most common ones I had seen online, and then some that I was just thinking, you know, I have those, and to me those seem similar. I want to test them out. So yeah, that was it for the dupe test. And absolutely, if you want to see how the two that I'm going to wear all day, how they hold up, then definitely check out my next video. I will leave it linked down in the description box below so you all can see how it held up compared to each other. I will be doing a few check-ins with it, probably 2 to 3 check-ins just to see how it overall kind of just wears, sits on the face, the durability, the longevity of the makeup, and all of that good stuff. And I will keep you updated on it. And yeah, that was it. So definitely, if you want to see that, go check out that video. I will leave it linked down below. But anyway, I'm going to hop off here, go do my hair, finish up this makeup, and then I'm going to get started on that next video on the wear test. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all in my next one. Bye, guys.